Welcome to the Employco HR Chat. I'm Rob Wilson. With me is Jason Eisenhut.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for joining us this week for our HR Chat. So, Jason, 401k and HSA balances are at the highest they've ever been.
Yeah, yeah. When we compare end of 23 to end of 24, both have increased quite a bit. The 401k is up 16%. So comparing end of 23 to end of 24, at the end of 23, the average 401k balance was 86,000. Now it's over 100,000, which is great. And it's a 16%. Part of that's the stock market doing pretty well, but also the savings rate is going up
Yeah,
too.
this is your average. So, I
Yeah,
mean, there's
right.
probably some pretty substantial balances because this is taken into, your 23-year-old person that's new to the job market that might not even
Or
be in a
zero.
401k
Yeah,
or might have, $1,000 in the 401k
right.
because in your early 20s, you're really not thinking about how much money I need when I'm 70.
Right, exactly. Or they don't have the disposable income. But yeah, a lot of employers are moving towards, and Secure 2.0, that's a recent law, is kind of forcing some employers. But even outside of that, so a lot of employers, a lot of our clients are doing automatic enrollment where
Right.
if you don't proactively opt out, you're going to be automatically put into the 401k plan at whatever percent the employer chooses. So that's helping employees save for retirement and encourage in education and investment and things like that.
And that also helps companies if their match might be lower by auto enrolling people from a top heavy testing standpoint,
Yeah,
helps
good
them
point.
as well.
Right.
So we've had some clients that have, come out top heavy over the course of testings, and by auto enrolling, you're reducing that a little bit.
Yep. Good point.
So, and I think education wise, you're educating companies are educating their employees a lot better.
The average employee contribution is actually higher now too. So the average employee is contributing 6.6% of their pay. So that's higher than it was
Well,
last year. So that's great. So that's probably maxing out any company match if the employee is putting in 6.6% of their own pay.
I mean, that's 6 point. That's a big number.
Yeah.
I would have thought a few years ago you were probably in that 3% range,
Yeah.
maybe if you're lucky,
Yeah. And
as
maybe,
an average.
yeah, a few years ago, especially during COVID, a lot of people dropped that back. Companies dropped down their 401k match a little bit. But it's nice to see where we're returning back. And some employees have outside savings like IRAs or just in the general market. But being in the 401k or at least these average metrics are a good indicator that people are starting to think more towards retirement.
And if you look at your maximum balance or maximum that you can add to your 401k this year is 23,500. And then if you're over 50, many of us are, you can add an
You'll
extra
catch up.
7,500.
Yeah. Yeah, and another interesting part in this survey was the average American thinks they'll need around 1.4 million to retire comfortably. So whether or not that's accurate, obviously everyone's going to be a little bit different in their needs. But if the average American thinks they need 1.46 million and their average balance is 100,000, we got a ways to go, but at least we're heading in the right direction.
Right. Yeah, you've got some savings there.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so and then the challenge is even if you're putting in 23,000 a year
Right.
and you're at 100,000, you're not going to get to a million three unless the stock market
Right.
does some incredible growth.
Right.
But
So,
but at least it's at least the numbers are going up.
yeah, and the same thing on the health savings account side, HSA side. So now the average balance at the end of 23, the average balance is 4,400. Now it's 5,000. So that's a nice increase too on the health savings account, which is some people are using that almost as a retirement savings vehicle because it has this triple tax advantage of no taxes going in, no taxes on the growth, no taxes on coming out. So a lot of good financially savvy people use HSAs as another form of retirement.
So in some part, either maybe they're not getting sick, maybe they're a little bit more healthy this year, or smarter how they use their deductible.
Yep. Yep.
Doing a little bit more research.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a really good point because some people are, like you said, either
Yeah.
put more than they need in, think I'm going to save it for retirement, or they're just healthier that year.
Right. Great topic, Jason. So
It
thanks
was
for
it
joining
was
us.
a listener suggestion, so we appreciate the listener
Oh,
suggestions.
nice. So yeah, thanks for joining us, and thanks for the suggestion on the topic. So feel free to reach out if you have other suggestions or questions for us. Reach out hr@employco.com. That goes right to Jason.
Yeah.
So happy to help, and happy to hear some other topics for future
Please send them in.
chats. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.